be careful of being in the trap of working in your business instead of working on your business. And there's a
Mhm.
very clear distinction between those two things.
Mhm.
Working in the business looks like, you're providing the service. You are showing up at your office, you know, working away, right? Working on your business looks like having a system and team of people running the day to day. Not so much of you doing it by yourself. And I see this all.
All right, we are recording. Today I have on Sam Kwak, who with his brother Daniel has started their own real estate training company where they teach other real estate entrepreneurs how to get funding, set up a pipeline of clients and homes, and close deals. So Sam, thank you for coming on.
Mhm. Yeah, so I do want to make sure we clarify one thing before we move forward. And Ian's doing a great job so far. So we actually didn't create our own real estate investing training company. We actually work with another company that has created a phenomenal program. So I guess in a way that we personally endorse this company, and we're students of that company as well. But yeah, just want to make that fact clear that we did not create our own real estate investing training company.
Okay, so this is a franchise, or what would you call this?
Yeah, so this is I would say, I'll give you a transparent answer. So my brother and I were basically
Mhm.
an affiliate, and we're an independent affiliate of this company that provides training for real estate investing, whether it's fix and flipping houses, buying apartment buildings to rent, commercial real estate. So we learned real estate from this particular company, and we love it so much. We fell in love. We have an independent affiliate agreement with this company to basically share, I guess, to distribute their services.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm guessing you can't name this company.
Well, I could just want to make sure that if you guys want to, we try to make it
Yeah.
intentional as far as the, I guess, the introduction of
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
the
Yeah,
experience. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Customer experience is very important.
Hmm.
Well, that's okay because I'm here to interview you about your online presence, so
Yeah.
we'll stick to that.
Cool.
So I was really blown away by you and your brother's channel
Hmm.
because it's just a cool channel. You have a lot of great practical tips
Hmm.
for real estate entrepreneurs, but then you have some really quality editing, and it's just enjoyable to watch. So
Yeah.
what made you guys decide to put so much work into your channel if your main business is real estate?
Yeah, so a lot of it is, my fundamental belief of what wealth is, and
Mhm.
let me just break that down for you guys, for those listening. Uh, a lot of times when we talk about wealth, we imagine private jet, nice car, right? A boat, a
Mhm.
yacht, right? All a fancy house and all that. But when I really truly came down to understanding what wealth really means, wealth to me is basically being able to share what you have with other people without feeling the own limitation of that sharing. So by me giving away, um, for example, charity or donating my time away, my core essence and the philosophy that I believe in is that by giving things away, in return, I'm going to attract more of those things. So if
Yeah.
I'm donating money away, uh, you know, whether you believe in universe or, I personally believe in God, uh, God's going to reward you with more of the resource that you gave it away. So
Mhm.
I believe in this, I guess, universal economy where what you give comes back around. So one of the things that we like to do is share a little bit of knowledge that we've learned along the way. And of course, uh, again, I prefer to be transparent. It is one of the ways that we look for new trainees and students for
Mhm.
the real estate investment education service that I that we work with. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so all that kind of plays together. So that's one of the main reasons why we started, and we didn't have any intentions of having so many subscribers or having quote unquote followers. It was just really so that we can provide as much value as possible to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I think that's an awesome philosophy
Mhm.
on life. Definitely works for
Yeah.
business, reciprocity. So one thing I'm kind of interested about though is, a lot of online entrepreneurs start companies to create their own products and market them themselves.
Hmm.
I actually see less people who are working in a partnership relationship or as affiliates like you and your
Hmm.
brother are for another company that are creating their own online presence.
Hmm.
Why do you think that is? Is there a reason?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it is, it's fundamentally a fact that, again, I'm going to go back to self-awareness, just
Mhm,
introducing
mhm,
self-awareness. Um, here we have an individual that figured out how to create one of the best real estate investment education service around the country. And
yeah.
to me, that's just my opinion. So I have a talent, my brother and I have a talent in marketing and sales. And I think
Mhm,
that's, I would have to say that's 75% of what real estate is.
yeah.
Uh, in order to get into what I would say is a good real estate deal, it requires tremendous amount of sales and marketing ability to get to that point.
Mhm,
So we have that skill set. Basically, what my brother and I decided was, hey, instead of trying to create our own, so to speak, real estate investing training, we want to work with someone, the company that's already doing it really, really well. And I believe to be one of the best quality real estate investment education service out there. So wealthy people, and this is something that one of my good mentors taught me, is that wealthy people
mhm,
don't compete, we collaborate. We find ways to work together so that we all win, and that we all move forward together.
mhm.
Um, are there merits to competing? Yes, but I think it would be more wise to say that instead of trying to create enemies, let's create allies so that we can all make money together.
Mhm, mhm. So that kind of like, I guess that is part of why you guys wanted to open up some of your information and give some of your advice out there.
Yeah, so we obviously, contractually, we're not allowed to give out everything.
Yes.
So we give, I guess, tidbit enough just so that we can stir some intrigue, um, to at least create some curiosity amongst people. But at the end of the day, it's like this, right? We Daniel and I, my brother and I, owe, you know, I'd say 99.9% of our success to this education company. And to suggest a different path for other people, I think that's a little bit of, hypocrisy, right? It's
Mhm,
like, hey, you've gone through success, you became successful this way. If why suggest something different? And for us, we don't regret taking this path. In fact, I think this is a phenomenal path to take. And I'm not just saying that because there's financial compensation at the end of me saying such things,
yeah.
but had we done it a different way, I don't know if we were to get quite the same results. And this isn't to brag, and I hope this doesn't come out that way. But my brother and I, we currently have 76 units to rentals. We're about to close 60 more within the next 2 weeks. We
Mhm,
have a closing date for both. And in the last 4 years, we were able to raise seven figures of private capital to fund our real estate deals. So, uh, you know, I don't know if we could have done it the same way had we gone to a different path. I mean, could there be an alternative that could be superior? Maybe. I mean,
mhm,
I'm just working with what we got as far as the resources that were present to us.
mhm.
So if we were to suggest a different path from that, I don't know. I don't. Integrity wise, I don't think it's going to be healthy for neither myself and for that person seeking a path to get into real estate investing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Wow. So that sounds like that's been quite a journey for you and your
Mhm.
brother.
Yeah.
So did you guys always know that you wanted to do something entrepreneurial, or was this something that kind of built up over time for you two?
Yeah. So, to be honest, I haven't gotten to, and this might sound stupid and silly at the same time. I didn't even know, and I was not even aware of the vocabulary of entrepreneurship until when I was 19. So
Okay.
nobody in my life told me that I can go in and start my own business. Nobody in my life told me that I didn't have to go get a job. In fact, I can go create jobs and opportunities for other people. So it wasn't until 19 where I had an epiphany, whether I call it divine intervention or just something that all of a sudden, boom, it was there. I just had this desire to go off on my own, not necessarily real estate. In fact, my first business was professional nightclub entertainment. We did DJing. We provided events like that. Yeah, until I had to grow myself out of it. Not that there's nothing wrong with the industry. It's just my goals weren't quite aligned with the industry. Yeah. So nobody told me that I can go rent properties out to people and collect passive income. So, but I did have, kind of looking back, and I don't know if this is just confirmation bias, but looking back, I do see moments in my life where I had entrepreneurial traits and characteristics, demonstrated and expressed entrepreneurial abilities. But it's sort of like, man, it's like, it felt like being Tarzan and trying to act like the apes, right? But I didn't know that I had this inherited ability. Maybe it's a gene thing. Maybe it's
so like when you started, you didn't feel qualified to be like on your own, you're saying?
When I was in high school, no. But when I got to college, I started my own business, and that's when I felt like, hey, I'm going to do this. I feel the calling for this. I feel the desire for this. So that's when I went off on my own, started my own business, and rest is history.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And this, okay. I'm just trying to get a timeline. So this first business was the nightclub entertainment stuff.
Yeah. So we had our own DJ company. I had 3 other DJs working with me, sort of like as a partnership. So if we had 5 events one night, and we also did weddings and birthday parties and all that. So if we had, let's say, 3 bookings on a weekend, we would split, going in different directions. And so it was almost like a hybrid agency, so to speak.
So you were working like both sides of the market, though. You were booking the events, and then you were hyping the event and getting customers to buy the tickets.
Right.
Okay. So it seems like you kind of set out on this, like, I'm going to be selling stuff path for your life.
No, I think sales is everywhere, right? It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, employee, sales is everywhere. If you manage yourself to get a girlfriend or a wife or husband, you effectively are a salesperson. If you went out and got a job, then you are a salesperson. So no matter what you do, if there's any involvement of persuasion and influence, sales is going to be there no matter what. And a lot of people tell me, well, I'm not good at sales, or sales isn't my thing. Well, then I ask him, do you plan on getting married? Because that involves the sales skills. You have to sell on the idea that you are the person that person should have for the rest of their life. That's a big commitment. So, I think sales is everywhere. And my brother and I, we won't say we're the best at it, but we're learning. We're always improving.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Because seeing how you started with the event sales, it sounds like you just need a vehicle to sell your products. You're a salesman, man. That's awesome.
Right.
That is a skill. Yeah. And people don't realize it's like when people, I think the biggest time people don't realize is when they start a job hunt. People say, I'm not getting any hits, and they just don't treat it like a sales process.
Yeah. It's very interesting. And this is something that I say all the time. It kind of going into the real estate context, it's actually a lot more easier to find a foreclosed property than a job. So I chose to become a real estate investor for that reason. Way easier to find a foreclosed property and to fix it and flip, and then to find a 6-figure job. So, yeah.
I like that. That's like a quotable. You could put that on a billboard.
Yeah.
For all the people like scratching their head, like, why can't I find a job? Like, you just make your own opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So on your site, I'm surprised to hear you say that the majority of work you do is with a partnership or affiliation through a company, because I actually assumed you had your own products on your site. You guys offer a lot of different services, a lot of information. Are there any plans to offer your own training products, or is that kind of out of the cards for you right now?
Yeah, I'm in love with this company that I'm an affiliate for. This company offered both opportunities in real estate education, and also, with the affiliate side, I mean, we're doing pretty well. I won't quote how much, but all I'm going to say is we're doing pretty well. So And this is actually not a bad model for a lot of folks out there, and goes back to our ability and our talents. But for those out there, and I'm pretty sure if you guys are entrepreneurs, you guys will know this person. Ty Lopez is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
The only product that Ty offers, or that he himself created, is that 67 steps. Now, I'm not bashing on Ty or anything like that. I think he's a great personal brand promoter. I think he's got a great model for himself, but a lot of his products that he sells are piggyback of other people's knowledge and ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
he wraps his name around those services and products and sells it in such way. Give you an example, his real estate program, that's actually, he kind of sort of white labeled it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he took a guy named Cody, I believe, and had him become an instructor. And Ty was basically using his personal brand to promote that product. And of course, Ty has a stake in it, making financial, monetary compensation. So I
Mm-hmm.
see myself in the same way, building a personal brand and pushing the agenda of this real estate investment education company, and pushing other agenda, using our personal brand. And of course, nothing has to conflict with my contractual agreement with the real estate education service company. So that's part of my business model, is not having a product of my own, but still making money off of other people's service.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, totally, totally. That personal
Yeah.
brand too is great because, that's definitely transferable to
Hmm.
other industries, other
Yeah.
affiliates. So
Right.
I think that's a great plan. Um, for people who are maybe fans of you and your brother, or just wondering, these guys working for this training company, managing their own real estate properties, like how are they actually making money? Like, is it just the money off your
Yeah.
rentals and your affiliate commissions when you get people hooked up with this opportunity, or are there other stuff? What do you got? Can I ask about that?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
mainly, yeah, I'm very transparent, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I want to do is hide behind a facade of things, right? At the end of the day,
And I want to say up front too,
yeah.
like with these training companies, I think they do receive too much hate because, on the one
Oh yeah,
side,
they do.
people will
Absolutely.
say, oh, college, what a waste. But then,
Yeah.
dropping a few grand for a training company, people will be like, oh, that's a scam.
I,
So,
it's the same idea of, are there bad doctors and good doctors?
yeah.
Yes, right. Are there doctors that make false diagnostics of different things? Absolutely, and it happens every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not here to say I'm a medical doctor or an expert, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming there are different levels of skill sets that are out there. So you kind of have to apply that also with the education field, right? Are there
Mm-hmm.
good educators and bad educators? Yes. One of the reasons why Harvard charges more money than a local community college here in my town. So I think there is, I mean, rightfully so. There are hate and dislike or disdain for real estate investment education.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times, unfortunately, some of the bad companies, and I won't name any companies, but a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
bad companies gets to be heard more. They have a louder voice, so that's one of the reasons why I think there's a bit of a bad taste in people's mouth about real estate investment education. But what I found to be the company that I'm an affiliate for, the integrity and the people that stand behind it, it's just off the chart. I've never seen that kind of, for the lack of a better term, warmth from the people, trust and amount of care that people have. And one of the things that they like to say, and I hope this doesn't end up being an infomercial. I'm
It's all
hoping
good.
this, yeah, I'm
It's
hoping
okay.
this will be a valuable thing. And I, Ian, rest assured, I will not advertise further. Um, um, it's just one of the things that we like to say is people here in the community, the real estate investment education service,
Mm-hmm.
you will give up on them before they give up on you.
Yeah.
So it's just one of that. It's like I said, it's like a real estate church,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know if I said that already, but it's like a real estate church, and this education company offers a lifetime access to some of their services. So enough of that. I just want to make sure it's not a shameless plug for the.
It's all good. Click below.
Yeah, right. No, I hope that's not what this is going to turn into. But
Yeah.
in all honesty, this is any education, right? I think this is any sort of, if you want to get into software development, or if you want to get into having an e-commerce business, right? If at any point someone's offering education in any of those fields, there will be people, there will be companies and organizations that offer genuinely valuable, they actually help. They're out there for the customers, and vice versa. On the flip side, there's going to be companies that are they just want to, suck your head off and take all the money in the world from you and not offer much value, or not enough in comparison to what some of the other guys are offering. So I'd say to the people who are listening to this, do your due diligence, right? Exercise your ability to go out and research on some of these companies and make the proper decision, whether some of these training companies, whether it's real estate or not, they offer genuine value, and that they're out there to help you, support you, and get you going to turning you into a success story.
Yeah. No, that's awesome advice. I didn't think about that too, since you do have, an insider's perspective on these companies.
Yeah.
A big thing, I think it's really great that there's a lot of education that's accessible online, accessible via video calls like this and online classes. But on the other hand, there's lack of accreditation, and it opens up the door to people, like you're saying, scammers. So having worked in an industry like that, if there's people out there and they're looking at these, Amazon FBA courses, affiliate marketing courses, they're getting ready to spend $1,000, $2,000, $10,000. Yeah. What would you suggest to those people about how can they vet these organizations?
Absolutely. So one of the big things is, I'm a big fan of going back to governmental agency, regulatory bodies. Check with the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. Has there been any complaints in the past with the Federal Trade Commission? Definitely look into BBB, although Better Business Bureau is not a public or a governmental body. They are a private run company. But BBB does offer some level of credible information. Just be careful with their accreditation stuff. A lot of bad businesses have slipped through having an A+ rating. And check with, so I would definitely check with the governmental body, see if, check to see if there's ever been a complaint. I know several, unfortunately, multi-level type of stuff have had histories of complaints, whether through the Federal Trade Commission, so check with that. And just because they had complaints in the past doesn't mean that they are a bad company. I would check to see what was the response to it, right? How did the company respond to that type of complaint? How was it addressed? Was there a legal review involved? I would also check with the financial standing of the company. So how is the company doing as far as their performance? What are their growth like? Has there been lots of kickback as far as, I think there's a better word for that. I'm just not getting the word out there, but check with that, right? Check with governmental bodies. And the reason why I say that is because there's going to be lots of quote unquote reviews out there. Opinions, especially. And oftentimes, when you're in this kind of industry, unfortunately, the easy way out to take out the competitor is to badmouth them, and shove them down the trash, right? Which definitely does not fit with my philosophy and my belief as far as how to run a business. But I would make sure check with the governmental body, the regulatory bodies, because they have the last say as far as whether a company is legit or not, or that they are protecting the consumer's right, or the consumer's stance on a given service or a product or a company. So that's the first thing that I would see with the company is have they been in good standing with the legislative and the regulatory bodies within state and also the nationwide level. So that's the first thing. The last thing I'll look at is our opinion, because a lot of the opinions are murky. They could be the opinions of a competitor, not necessarily the actual consumer who have purchased and have a transactional relationship with the company. So that's what I would do. Get to the fact. Opinions. Yeah, there might be some value there, but don't get swayed by it.
Yeah. No, that makes. Oh, I know a lot of the reviews now too are just affiliate sales, so
Yep.
does make it tough. So I wanted to ask you about your background a little. I know you said you did the events deals. I think it was, I guess, your brother Daniel that mentioned he was in the Army prior to starting.
Oh, that was me.
That was you. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did that play into this? You and your brother's professional backgrounds. Did you guys learn anything, in your backgrounds that's helped you as entrepreneurs or?
Yeah, it absolutely did. So I joined the Army right after the high school. I joined the reserve. So, unfortunately, I didn't have the privilege of being an active duty. Some of the other people that I know that come back from Iraq and Afghanistan. So while I was in the reserve, I was able to attend college and sort of live a normal life in a way. The only obligation I had was once a month. A weekend a month kind of thing, and 2 weeks out of the summer. So that definitely did help me understand how to take appropriate risk to different things. Taught me leadership because in the Army, if you make a mistake, it can cost lives, right? It can cost the lives of your fellow soldiers, cost the lives of an ally. So helped me definitely with the decision-making skills, helped me understand the bigger picture of things and how my decisions, whether business or military, will affect the people around me.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sounds like an interesting experience. Let's see here. So you went so that was kind of while you were in school and doing the event stuff. Wow. All at the same time. Okay.
Yep.
So when you and your brother decided to get into this, was there one of you two that was gung-ho about doing the real estate training? Were you looking for opportunities and this looked like the best one? Like, can you talk about how it started?
Yeah. So I actually got first introduced to the whole idea of real estate. I actually had to drag my brother down to check out the training. The company that had their local meeting here, and at first he wasn't much for it. Rather, he was neither against it or for it. He was just kind of neutral about it. But we got to a point where my parents actually moved away from, my parents lived here with us, but they moved away back to Korea, which is where I'm originally from. And we were pretty much on our own, right? We, whether it was, we had to get a job or, build our business to where we can have livable income. So real estate, we looked at back at the time was, we thought to ourselves, excuse me, and we thought to ourselves, if we're going to create income and if we're going to go out there and work hard as we know we would, why not we do it and apply that work ethic at something that's going to pay us back in a way that's exponential, right? Instead of building like a retail business where it involves constant monitoring and being there all the time, which again wasn't our passion. We thought, hey, rental property business sounds very interesting from the fact that, it doesn't require you being there physically in person every day, show up. It's one of those things where you may manage it maybe 2-3 hours a week, but, as long as you have a solid, competent property manager, pretty much things are on their own and income just kind of flies into your bank account. Now, I just want to make sure I'm not misleading anybody thinking that this is an easy thing. Yeah, yes, there's going to be challenges, right? There's going to be things that are going to cause stress, right? Tenants being one, maintenance being another one. So there's going to be issues, right? No matter what business you get into. But here's what I believe. You're going to have problems regardless whether you're poor, rich, middle class. You're going to have problems either way, right? The thing that you can do is pick your problems. So I chose to pick my problem that involves in paying well, but have some appropriate level of quote unquote challenges along the way.
Yes. Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. And I think anything you work at, it's going to be super hard work.
Right. Yep.
Definitely. So getting into this, again, were there any blogs, like books, mentors? How did you pick this direction? How did you get to the point where you were dragging your brother to this
Yeah.
training?
So I got involved, like I mentioned, through the education company, and I found myself someone that I could kind of mirror within the training company. And this person also participated and enrolled as a student. So this is someone that I would call a mentor, someone that I could follow and pursue their ideas and philosophy. And I have several different mentors, but I think this one person. He's involved in my life as much as I am involved in his life. So I think mentorship definitely played a huge role. Helped me stay away from different types of pitfalls along the way, which, by the way, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a small business owners, there will always be pitfalls that it's just inevitable, right? When you're trying to build something, there will be resistance that comes into play. So having this mentor figure definitely helped me kind of navigate through the unknown regions of my future, and help me kind of get into where I need to be and where I am now. So so that mentor, I met him through the training course, the training company, and and I've read probably few books that helped me out. I wouldn't say hundreds. I don't know if I even read hundreds of books. I probably read a good 50, 60 books that really helped me out with business mindset.
Yeah, definitely. Any top ones you like that come to mind you'd recommend?
Yeah,
that kind of got you started on this path?
Yeah. So the first book that I picked up that I can remember is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Yeah, one of the highest. I mean, it's one of the more popular books out there on self-development. I would definitely mention The One Thing by Gary Keller.
Oh yeah, so good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep. I would also mention the I was gonna say the autobiography, The Snowball Effect by Warren Buffett. I can also mention there's one that comes to mind. Compound Effect by I forgot his name. I think it's Hardy.
Darren Hardy.
Darren Hardy. Yes. Yeah. Another book that I would mention is gonna be Pitch Anything by Oren Clough. Right there,
so good. That's great.
Yeah. That right there has taught me how to pitch, sell, persuade in such a powerful way. What else? This is not a book, but it's a training by The Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
Straight line sales system. Took that training as well. Phenomenal training, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Which I'm not an affiliate for, so I can say it all.
We can say, yeah.
Right.
Take it.
So a couple more books out. The Power Habit by Charles Duhigg. That's what it is, not Chris. Charles Duhigg. There's several other books. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I do read a lot of biographies, so that's another, just to see what successful people have done, so that I can reverse engineer what they've done and model it in my life. Yeah. So I probably read few other dozens of books that affected my subconscious and everyday behavior. I just can't name it all. They're all sitting in my library.
You don't have to. Don't worry.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I knew this wasn't a book report, so yeah.
But that's good. No, so it sounds like the mentor was a big thing, and this was just a gentleman you knew through your social circles in school, or? Yeah, this gentleman, like I said, I met him through the real estate investment training company that I'm involved with. Yeah, so I pretty much meet everybody. I met everybody in my life, both professional and personal. All my friends are from this real estate investment training education. So are my attorneys, my accountants, my insurance guy. Wow. Yeah, everybody. So that's wild. Yeah, it's great because these are individuals that are plugged in with the training, so they know what I'm up to. Yeah. They also buy real estate themselves. Mm-hmm. So when my attorney is advising me on certain real estate decisions, it's coming from a position where he owns real estate himself too. So it's not someone that giving advice.
this is someone that is giving advice because he himself went through the process of transaction and buying real estate and managing it.
Yeah, they're not just speculating.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have a couple more questions.
Yeah,
The
no, go
second to
for it.
last one. Second to last one is, so your channel and you and your brother's site, do you have a long-term vision for that brand?
Yeah, so I can only see so far. I'm definitely more of a strategic planner of a short-term kind of thing. But
Mhm.
as far as what I can see, we are going to continue, promoting the real estate investment education company that we are affiliates with, and we will do our best to stay compliant with what they've set out as contractual limitations as far as what we can do. So we're not going to go gung ho and share everything that we know, but we're going to share some tidbits along the way. But I do imagine keeping it until, keeping the YouTube channel around. Although I do have thoughts of downsizing our personal brand as soon as we hit 1 million a year with our rental portfolio, just because we want to. It's an argument. I would say I see two sides. Do we want to go super public and be famous and all that, or do we want to go, stay hidden within the shadow and not have to worry about the public eye? So, I'm kind of siding with the private eye, the going private and going, in the shadows, just
Yeah.
because, hate to say it, hate to bring this out, but I mean, you look at this, President Trump, he's getting sued left and right.
Yeah.
Although he makes billions and millions of dollars, he's getting sued left and right. And, it's one of those things that, do I want that for myself and my family? Do I want to constantly be under threat of the public eye? Just, even though I may not have malicious intent to hurt anybody or say anything that's crazy, I don't want to have to keep constantly out.
No, unfortunately, in the world we live in, you're susceptible to lawsuits when you do have any kind of wealth. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, so that's something that I've been realizing recently, lately. Do I want to go public and in the sense that do I want to have this image or brand, on YouTube and social media, or do I just want to, go in the shadow, make money, and have no one know me, but enjoy the peace and quiet?
Yeah, live your life.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so yep.
I know there's a lot of people in favor of that. A few people I've talked to that actually stopped YouTube, it was for that reason. So
yeah, I might just start dressing and look like I'm broke, just for that reason. I'm gonna just drive around with a Prius and t-shirts and shorts.
A lot of people do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to stay invisible. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you. So my last question is just: is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have, or that you'd like to tell people?
You know what? I go by I'm going by the flow. Honestly,
Yeah.
I want to make it so that whoever's listening to this can walk away with one or two things that could really shape their decision and growing their business. I will, however, say this is something that I do want to mention, just so that I know people are going to be walking away with value. Is you got to be careful of being in the trap of working in your business instead of working on your business. And there's a very clear distinction between those two things. Working in the business looks like, you're providing the service. You are showing up at your office, working away, right? Working on your business looks like having a system and team of people running the day-to-day, not so much of you doing it by yourself. And I see this all the time in the retail and service industry, especially my favorite dry cleaning store in my town. I see the owner, despite the fact that she's of age, she's a little bit on the older side, right? She's watching this. I love you. Thanks for cleaning my clothes. But she works for her own business, right? She's there 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Doing the dry cleaning work, and she could easily hire a manager and train a manager. And of course, you may have to manage a manager, but she can take some of the time that she's putting it into a business and do something, right? Go travel, spend time with your family, create that lifestyle, right? To go out there or create a second business and expand and so forth. So that's one thing that I'm seeing a lot of new slash mid-sized entrepreneurs that get stuck in, is that they work for their own business. Instead of thinking, how do I expand out to a different idea? How do I? So one of my good friends, and I would say he's definitely a mentor role to my life as well. His philosophy is, if you're an entrepreneur, you have an idea, right? You get an idea, create the idea, build the idea, and then build a system around the idea, and then replace yourself within the idea and let that idea run on its own and pay you dividends moving forward. And then you get a new idea, start all over. So this is actually, I guess, an appropriate way to build multiple streams of income by creating one idea, focusing one idea at a time. And a lot of times people think, oh, it's going to take 2 months for me to automate it. Well, not so. It may take 2 to 5 years for you to really complete the idea and put it in a system format where it's running on its own, and it's got employees, and you got a manager and people running the show. But optimally, that's what I would think, in my opinion, is the best way to go about building multiple streams of income. Is by building one business at a time, systemizing it, and replacing yourself in it, and move on to the next project.
No, that's great. That's